Alfonso's here, the godfather of the game. Many years of wisdom, remember his name. Speakers on stage, they'll drop the keys. Unlock your power and seize the breeze.
I'm Alfonso Quadra, and this is What They Didn't Teach You in School. We're talking with Ken Beaton. He is our apartment building specialist, expert, 1,000 units.
Not quite.
Almost there.
Almost.
Oh, okay, that's good, that's good. Well, you know what, I wanted to talk a little bit about real estate because a lot of our viewers, they're in school or just got out of school or they're just getting started. So what kind of advice would you have for someone in school or just got out of school if they wanted to get into real estate?
To get into real estate, to understand where you're at financially, understand being financially literate and having what good credit means and how that it can impact your ability to borrow money and or use other people's money as well. So they don't teach financial literacy in school at all.
Yeah, well, at the very first thing they give you is a credit card. In university, they have the little kiosk, free T-shirt.
What people don't realize is that our society runs on debt.
Yeah.
And if we don't have the bad debt being racked up by society, the system just shuts down.
So if someone listening right now, they're like, oh, wait a minute, I don't want to be in debt. My parents told me never to be in debt. So what would you say to that?
There's a big difference between good debt and bad debt. Okay, bad debt is your credit card debt, your car loans, your student loans, all of these types of debts that you have to pay back and you have nothing really to show for it. You're not
Stuff.
getting any worth. Yeah, stuff. Whereas Rich Dad says doodads,
Yeah.
toys.
Yeah.
And the good debt is the debt that's paying you money every month, real estate.
So leverage debt, so, maybe a balance on your credit card. Someone right now, maybe just got their first credit card.
Yep.
$500. What should they do?
Well, they should use it. But they should pay it off every month as well.
Yeah.
Don't carry any balances because that credit card is extremely important to help you build good credit. So the banks and the lenders will look at you as a responsible person with credit. So it allows you to go borrow it and they know that you're going to pay it back. That's the whole point of having a good credit score.
So how did you get started, Ken?
How did I get started? Well, I went through school just putting time in and didn't know anything different.
Like everybody else?
Like everybody else.
Yeah.
Just did what was expected, went off to college, and things just chugged along until one day I was turning almost 40 years old and realized I don't have anything. I've got nothing for my kids' future, I've got nothing for my own future, and things have to change. I didn't know what or how to change it until I read a little book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that book just literally changed my life. Because I had been a realtor prior to that, a very unsuccessful realtor, I might add, because I think differently. And that's the other thing they don't teach you in school is how to think. They teach you how to memorize. And
What's the difference?
huge difference, because you can memorize. I don't know my times tables, but I know how to tell you. I can calculate it very quickly. And so I don't get stuck at 8 times 8. I can go up to 12 times 12, 14 times 14, because I know how to do it, because I can think differently. And that I'm very grateful my dad taught me that. And
Nice.
The other thing is he also taught me you never say you can't.
Yeah.
It's how can I.
Well, that's the other thing about school, which school is great for, depending on what you want to do in life. In school, they say 1 + 1 = 2. But as an investor, we know that 1 + 1 can equal whatever you want.
It's 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the difference in mindset.
Yeah.
I like the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it talks about the term of what an investment is, what is an asset, and the problem in with society where people are led to believe that your home is an asset. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, well, the best time I ever had mentoring students was 2 accountants together and trying to get through their thick heads that their houses were not an asset. And
Because that's what the society believes. Your house is an asset.
Yeah,
And they say, I'm in real estate, I'm an investor, I bought a house.
And the quite simple definition that Robert shares, which really resonates well with me, is does it put money in your pocket or take money out of your pocket? And when I ask you about your house, does that put money in your pocket or take money out? You're putting money out.
Taxes,
Mortgage payments, maintenance, insurance, all of these things. Therefore, it's not an asset. But all my real estate portfolio puts money in my pocket after all of those expenses have been paid. and it still puts money in my pocket. Those are assets.
So that's kind of a hard concept for people to understand because most people think that they need to exchange time for money, right? So right now, someone's in school, they're learning, you know what, I'm going to go to school, and then when I get out, I'm going to make a quote unquote salary, and that's going to be because of my time and what the value that I bring to the table. So what's the difference in terms of an investor versus in terms of time?
So for myself, it's a matter of looking at an opportunity and understanding or considering all of the different options available to that opportunity rather than me just putting my time and effort into it directly. I will look at it and say, well, who can I leverage for that opportunity, or who can I sell that opportunity to and never even touch the asset and make some profit off it. There's many varieties of ways of different ways of doing things differently than what we're taught. You know, just strictly changing time for money. No, I don't believe in that.
And so that's a different way of thinking, which is completely different than what they're teaching you in school. So someone right now is in school and they're saying, well, I already paid my tuition. I have no choice. Can someone get started in real estate today, right now, if they're just in school or getting out of school or just getting started?
My name is Alfonso Cuadra. They call me the Godfather of real estate. I've been in business for over 30 years, in real estate over 26 years. I built a multi-million-dollar portfolio. And now I'm going across North America, talking to people and signing checks. I'm looking for deals because I'm building a $1 billion portfolio. Is that you? Let me make an offer you can't refuse.
We just don't have enough information to make this decision. There's too many unknowns. And for that reason, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter where you are in life, in school, out of school, whatever. First, don't quit school. I mean, school has its place.
Yeah.
It trained me how to think. I went for engineering, so it trained me how to think very differently, and I'm very grateful for that. But it didn't train me to be an entrepreneur. And there's no reason why you can't be an entrepreneur at the same time while you're in high school even. I mean, even in grade school. I know a partner of mine is training his daughter to be an entrepreneur, and she's only 9 years old, and she thinks very differently.
And how would someone go about doing that? You know, how can they start? You know, they're in school, they have the student loans, and they barely have any credit. Yeah. Can someone get started today, and what would be that step?
Yeah, well, first of all, stop listening to the people who say you can't do it, and start seeking out the people who say you can do it, and listen to those people, the mentors, the other people who are successfully doing it themselves. There's a plethora of opportunities out there. Just open your eyes up to it and just start seeking them out, the mentors.
So what would you, if it was you, what would be that one step? Your first step?
If I'm looking at real estate, I'd be looking to study and see how other people are doing it.
Education.
Education, yeah. So
Second?
education is the easy part, actually, because you can pick up a book, you can go to a course, you can get all of that. But then it's the mindset and the beliefs, understanding and believing in yourself that you can do it.
Yeah.
And not listening to all of the naysayers around you, which happens to be your family for the most part.
They always share the same
Family
last name.
Exactly, yes. So start expanding beyond that, and it's okay to be different. In school, people don't like to be different because you're picked on and you're isolated. It's okay to be different.
So get the education, surround yourself around the right people, and in terms of an investment for someone that is, let's say 25, 30 years old, what is their first type of investment? Apartment buildings? What should they be doing?
No, not an apartment building, because if you make it...
Because that's what you focus on.
I focus on apartment buildings, but I also, I'm also a real estate broker, so I sell everything, but I also teach to people to buy anything and everything in between as well. And you're going to make mistakes when you're investing in real estate. We all have, and I will in the future as well. So it's much easier to learn those mistakes on small investments versus big investments.
So what kind of investments should they be looking at?
Duplexes, I taught people, first-time home buyers who can't afford to get into a home and buy it themselves, buy like a high ranch with an open basement, suite the basement out, put a tenant down there, pays for your mortgage, and you can live virtually
For free.
just
Yeah.
about anywhere.
So that first investment could be as simple as taking a single home, putting a suite in the basement. That basement pays for all the expenses. Now you're living for free. Now you have available income to now focus on the next thing.
The easiest way to get started, because you can also leverage CMHC financing and get into it with as little as 5% down as a new home buyer. It's your own personal residence, so there's no easier way of getting into the investment game than that.
What if someone doesn't have credit? Because, someone would say, you know what, I don't have the income or the credit. How could someone do it?
But you have the credit, I'm gonna leverage you.
So other people's credit.
Other people's credit, other people's money, whatever
Yeah.
the case.
Yeah.
Partner up with people, make it a win-win situation.
Another thing that we're taught in school is the mutual fund, the RSPs. So most people don't really understand what an RSP is, but they understand the concept. We put money away, you have deferred taxes and things like that. How would you, as an investor, use your RSP?
Okay. Well, first of all, I wouldn't invest in RSPs because I'm not planning on retiring poor. RSPs are for people who are planning on retiring making less than what they were making when they were working, which is fine.
Because you're going to be taxed on the other side.
Taxed, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a tax deferral plan, which is fair enough. But then what do you invest that in? And most people are told to invest it in the mutual fund market, which is run by the big banks and so forth.
Which are just products, in essence.
Yeah, just a mutual fund is could be anywhere from 6 to a dozen or more
Yeah.
different products in one umbrella that you're investing in, and
Yeah.
supposed to be diversifying, right? But it still goes up. It's in the stock market, so it still goes up and down in value. You're tied to that stock market. What most people do not realize is that you can put that same money into a true self-directed fund. Not one that the bank says is self-directed as long as you buy their products. I'm talking a true self-directed fund where you can manage it yourself.
And anybody can do this.
And anybody can do it, absolutely. But not, the big five banks don't do it
And why aren't people taught this in school?
because it doesn't make the big five banks money.
And they have influence over the education.
Just a lot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
yeah, once you put it into a self-directed fund, then you can go out and you can create your own mortgages. You can become the bank and lend your money out to other investors then.
So how can someone leverage or get in contact? Ken, I love this. Like, I want to get started. Like, how could someone reach out to you?
Well, the best thing to do is go to my website,
Yeah.
which is arcarealestate.ca, and
We're going to put all of that in the comments below. So if you want to reach out to Ken, absolutely. And what would you do with, how could you help someone?
well, I can educate them, I can mentor them, I can coach
Any
them.
age.
Any age. Doesn't
Any
matter.
age.
I've got students in my program.
What's your youngest?
Right now, 23.
23.
He has a cleaning business in Calgary, and he's
Nice.
focused on growing that cleaning business and investing in real estate.
Excellent. No, I love this conversation. We could talk for hours, but before we go, I have one last question. What is it that they didn't teach you in school?
So many things. Just one thing?
Yeah.
Well, I jokingly said before I'd have to be there in order to have any.
Well, but you know what? Some people feel bad because their marks aren't up to par or
Well, I was like so many students. I would just push through the system.
Yeah.
And I'd say the biggest thing they didn't teach me was how to think. I didn't learn that until I got into college or into engineering. That's when I really learned how to think. Prior to that time, I was just part of the system being pushed through there, and I resented the whole thing. And just, thinking differently is huge.
yeah, just how to think like an investor versus a consumer.
Well, not even just an investor, just think outside the box. Think for yourself. Don't be a sheep.
Ken, thank you so much for coming.
Join us for our 10th and biggest Expand Investor Conference. And this year, this November, we are doing it in Calgary, Alberta. Yeah! And it's gonna be a big one. And I want you to go and get your tickets right away. Our Expand Investor Conference, our 10th edition of our Expand Investor Conference is happening in Alberta. Get your tickets right away.